Hey, I just want to make a quick video as non-video ready as I am right now. The only way for me to share this is to make a video, right? So I just realized the validity of a vision that the Lord gave me anywhere from a year and a half ago to 2 years ago, somewhere in that range. Right? And it was a vision of him seated on his throne. Okay. Now, the reason I'm just now sharing it, a couple years later, is because I was never confident in the validity of what I saw, right? Especially due to the randomness of how the vision came to me. Okay. So one day during chapel at Bible College, Christ for the Nations, chapel is just basically morning worship every morning before classes, right? One morning before chapel, I was in worship, right? And, nothing crazy was going on. I wasn't overcome by the presence of the Lord or anything like that. I was just in worship, hands lifted, singing along to the music. And this image flashes across my mind, right? And that has been how a lot of times how the Lord has shown me things through vision, right? I've prophesied by that, and He's shown me other things by an image very quickly, a fraction of a second, flashing across my mind, but it kind of leaves an imprint on my mind, right? And then I recall the image and pick out the details of it after the image has already left, if that makes any sense at all. I don't know. So I'm in worship, hands lifted, and this image flashes across my mind. And once I start looking into it, I realize it's the Lord. Well, at the time, I believe, like I told you a minute ago, I wasn't fully positive until right now, but I believe it was the image of the Lord on his throne. Now, I could try to describe the image completely right now, but I feel like some of it wouldn't be clear and I would be adding to it, you know what I'm saying? Or adding my own little input and tweaks to the image that may have not have been there. So one thing, I'm going to talk about two things that without a doubt, that I saw, okay? The first thing was the crown that the Lord was wearing. The thing that stood out about the crown was at the front of the crown, the front and center of the crown was a large red stone. I don't know the significance of that. I don't know why I saw that, but that's definitely what I saw as far as the crown. And then the main thing that stood out to me that has stuck with me all this time, think about what we are taught about the planet Saturn, right? The rings around Saturn, and how they're made of floating rocks, floating around, orbiting around the planet. But, when you look from afar, and this is what we're taught, put aside what we actually may believe for now. I'm just trying to help you with the imagery, right? When you zoom out, it just looks like rings around the planet, right? Now imagine those rings, those different rings being colors of the rainbow. And now imagine that orbiting the Lord while he's on the throne. And that's what I saw. I saw a rainbow orbiting the Lord on the throne, but it was like, I don't know if I just want to call them rocks. They could have been precious stones, but it was like that was kind of floating around in the rainbow. So that's what I saw, right? And I never shared it. There were times where I thought about commissioning an artist to recreate what I saw, but I never shared it until now because I just wasn't. I was like, rainbow, like what's up with that? Like and then the crown, like what's the significance of a red stone? Why? I just wasn't confident in the validity of what I saw, right? Especially at that time, I was still growing and recognizing the way the Lord communicates with me and all that. Now I'm embarrassed to admit, right? Because I was just sitting here thinking about all that and decided to do a Google search. I don't know why, for the first time in a couple of years, I decided to search Google now. But I'm even more embarrassed to find that it literally states that in Scripture. Literally, I think it's Revelation 4:3. It literally says a rainbow surrounds the Lord's throne. And it's embarrassing because I like to think of myself as above average when it comes to Bible knowledge and knowledge of Scripture and what it says, right? I'm not saying I'm the best, most knowledgeable. I'm not saying that, but definitely above average. And I know I've read that passage multiple times. I know I have. But as I'm sure some of you have experienced, you can read a passage time and time again, and you read it for like the 8th time, and you see something that you never saw before. So like now I know the Lord legitimately showed me a vision of him seated on his throne while I was in worship one morning. But that rainbow, that's just what stuck with me all this time. And it was sitting right there in Scripture all along, man. That's it, man. That's all I wanted to share with y'all. Be blessed.